Good evening, everyone. Welcome to America's Third Party. Good evening. Welcome. Yes. I'm here, David Sponheim, as usual, for another great night of entertainment. We are going to be talking about, a Christmas Day tragedy. A mom and two kids die in a likely murder-suicide at a Boston parking garage. Wow, that's crazy. It's tragic. I knew a person who actually had a wife and kid, and the same thing kind of happened. And we never did find out what happened to that man. He fell off the radar after his wife and child died. Yeah, a friend of mine knew this guy, and I knew him from a couple of meetings. And his wife and child died in the back of a car out in Utah. Hi there, guys. Welcome to our YouTube show. Yeah, and so I can only imagine the after effects of this tragedy. I'll read about that here. But first, another story. Missing 5-year-old autistic boy found dead in a pond by his grandmother's house. Boy, this isn't exactly the way to kick off the new year, is it? I mean, we haven't quite gotten to 2020, but this is tragic. All right. Dave, why didn't you tell us your recipe was going to give us the beep? My recipes are really good. And you've been banned from the show because I've never had a problem with that. You're apparently not following my recipe correctly. I am not AI. I show you that during the show. I am not going to show you my navel. I am not going to show anyone my navel. Poof. Okay, so body of a 5-year-old boy who went missing on Christmas, found in a pond. Okay. It's possibly drowned. We'll have to check for foul play. The GOP predicts bipartisan acquittal at Trump impeachment trial. Well, of course they do. They're working for Russia. Mitch McConnell has funding from the oligarchs in Russia, and so does Lindsey Graham. Yep. So we've established this over and over again, but nobody in the media wants to talk about it because the people in the Democratic Party, they're getting money from the Russians and the Ukrainians as well for their reelection. So ironically, the biggest liability for the Democrats is their own corruption. Isn't that interesting? Process that in your brain for a while. Maxed Out Credit says my cooking has given him a 32-pound lighter waistline. Yeah, let me straighten out my tie, my beautiful Perry Ellis tie. Oh, I got to stitch that. Remind me to stitch that. Yeah. It's from the Perry Ellis portfolio. Thank you. Thank you for coming in and sharing in my blue universe. We did a really good thing about Trump's best words last night. It's fantastic. If you didn't see it, let me just play a little bit of it right now just to get started.
Combat infantryman badge. Heroin alone, if you look at the heroin epidemic, last year alone, ICE officers removed 10,000 known or suspected gang members, and to delegitimize heart, lung, and liver transplants. And his daughter Laura at a reception for the Italian. And we are reclaiming our noble heritage. Companies are really big beneficiaries.
Okay, big beneficiaries. You know, having a president with Donald Trump's acumen, mental acumen, has really been very difficult because, as you know, someone with his intelligence he actually struggles with words, the word thing. Yeah, so I got to hand it to him. He's had a lot of prep. 4th, 5th grade teachers have been in there teaching him math, or not math, but basic reading skills. And he's made a lot of progress. Isn't that wonderful? So let's give Donald Trump a big hand for his reading ability as it's improved over the past 3 years. And that battery's running out on this thing. I'm going to have to definitely get new batteries. Kid Boga. Funny prank calls gone right. We don't do prank calls. Yeah, I'm so sorry. No more prank calls for you. Dave, I can't spell bigly because I went to the finest schools. I went to all the best schools to learn the famous words. I do words really, really good. I'm a really good word person. And I got to tell you, folks, we played some pretty horrific stuff before the show that was fake news that painted the Queen of England out to be this evil person. And in no way am I saying that, okay? We in no way want to imply anything negative about the Queen.
At this time of year, few sights invoke more feeling of fear and ill will than the desperate plights of our hypocrisy.
We have censored that show. I'm sorry. We will not be able to play that. Yeah, there's nothing more disturbing than seeing the Queen talk about the world we live in as if it is an hypocrisy. We all know that we all live in a real world, one created by the Matrix, one provided to us at birth through the digital spectrum. We all know that we are assigned to our specific duties here on Earth, and we are living out our role perfectly. Mr. Anderson. So what are we going to talk about for 4 or 5 hours? I mean, it's amazing how much I do tonight, every night. It's phenomenal how much work goes into this show. It's almost like the Titanic. Isn't that the coolest thing? This guy created a body to hang on to him, and he wore a bra. Not that that's something I would do. But isn't that hilarious? And he gets on this thing that has like an electric motor on it. He looks like he's at the front of a ship. Just like the movie, Titanic. The Titanic did sink, but there are theories about the technology that went into it. There was a sister ship to the Titanic. And not a lot is talked about the sister ship to the Titanic, but the Britannic, it was called, Titanic's sister ship. And we have some videos tonight about what happened to the Titanic sister ships. We'll play those for you at the 10 o'clock hour. Look on the bright side.
Why Titanic's tragic sister ships sank. Everyone knows the story of the Titanic, but not many people know that the Titanic had 2 sister ships, and that on the night of its sinking, one of them rushed to help but didn't make it in time.
Yeah, nobody even knew. This is a weird story, so I'll play it tonight. I have no problem discussing the sister ship, Britannic. Other things going on. Right. Yeah, there's many people believe the Titanic was purposely sunk. There was an actual bomb on board. It wasn't the Germans. It was the Federal Reserve. David, I feed my wife the Impossible Burger from Burger King will her breasts get bigger from the esters? I don't know. Ask your doctor. Doctor, if I give my wife the Impossible Burger, will she grow larger breasts? Just ask your doctor. We've got Dickie socks in the show? Really? Yeah, I told you, these are the best socks in the market. I get them at Walmart for a song during the Black Friday sale. This year I had some, I didn't have to buy any, but look at that. They're really, really good quality. 68% cotton, 29% polyester, but it's the perfect mix. And they never have those smells of polyester. Sometimes you get that oil smell. Yeah. So I recommend Dickies. What do you wear? Little small girly man socks, Howie? Do you have the girly man socks to make you look like a girly man? Yeah. That's a good sock. The Dickies is good sock. BBC Technology. What do you got? Thanks, Christmas. Uber co-founder Travis has left. He quit as CEO. Well, let's be clear. He steps down from the board. Now people are saying, where's Uber going to go? Was he a visionary, or was he standing in the way of the growth of a company synonymous with cool dudes giving you a ride, dude, off the internet? Yeah. The 43-year-old ousted the ride-hailing firm's original chief executive within a year of its creation, but it was himself forced to stand down 6.5 years later in 2017 after a number of scandals. He had, however, remained involved as one of his 9 directors. Mr. Kalanick also recently sold off most of his shares in the company. In the past 2 months, he's liquidated about $2.5 billion worth of stock, representing more than 90% of his earlier stake in the business. Wow. At the close of the decade, and with the company now public, it seems like the right moment for me to focus on my current business and philanthropic efforts, said Mr. Kalanick in a statement issued by Uber. I will continue to cheer for its future from the sidelines. Uber promises changes to avoid the Germany ban. Uber had 6,000 U.S. sexual assault reports in 2 years. That's disturbing. Uber loses its license to operate in London. Look at that, a misspelling of the word license. Unless that's the English spelling. Yeah, so I avoid the Impossible Burger or the Beyond Burger simply because I don't want to turn, gay from the soy esters in there. But you women and gay men are probably, perfect. It's a perfect match for you. I like non-genetically modified soy too. And I think one of those burgers is non-GMO. We now take a break to talk about Larry Sinclair, who became homosexual at a young age, at perhaps birth, and had oral sex with Barack Obama in a limousine in Gurnee, Illinois. Here we go. Thanks for reminding me about this. It's important I play this.
Where Senator Obama exited the limousine with $250, which was provided to him by me. Returned a short while later with an 8-ball of cocaine, which he gave to me. I did ingest a couple of lines of cocaine, and shortly thereafter, Senator Obama produced a glass cylinder pipe and packet of crack cocaine from his pocket. Obama then smoked the crack cocaine. I performed fellatio on Senator Obama in the limousine during the time Senator Obama was smoking crack cocaine, after which I had the driver take me to my hotel, the Comfort Suites, Gurnee, Illinois.
Yeah. Thank you, Larry. Appreciate it. Good to hear from your voice again. All right. Right. So back to the real news, technology. Let's talk about it. We've got one item lined up here. The top of the list, we profiled it last night. The U.S. Air Force has developed liquid metal, which autonomously changes structure. Isn't this cool? Now, this is not the Russian scientists. This is the U.S. Air Force scientists, okay? So feel proud about that. And here we thought liquid metal was just Bondo, Howie, please, keep the conversation on an upscale. We try not to talk about gays as a derogatory thing. Yeah. As reported by the U.S. Air Force Research Laboratory, military scientists have developed a Terminator-like liquid metal that can autonomously change the structure, just like in a Hollywood movie. So this response to stretching is the exact opposite of what we would expect, he said. Apparently, the liquid metal networks can be strained up to 700%, autonomously respond so that the strain to keep the resistance between those two states virtually the same and will still return to the original state. It's all due to the self-organized nanostructure within the material that performs these responses automatically. This is very similar to the combobulator as it was depicted earlier in the test laboratories. Yes. The original combobulator was developed as a Kickstarter. We're not going to talk about that right now, though.
Here at Rockwell Automation's world headquarters, research has been proceeding to develop a line of automation products that establishes new standards for quality, technological leadership, and operating excellence. With customer success as our primary focus, work has been proceeding on the crudely conceived idea of an instrument that would not only provide inverse reactive current for use in unilateral phase detractors, but would also be capable of automatically synchronizing cardinal gram meters. Such an instrument comprised of Dodge gears and bearings.
Okay, this is a famous video that I'd love to play, but unfortunately I can't play long periods of time. Okay, what's wrong with you? Another scope, another conspiracy theory, dime a dozen. Wow. What a worthless pack. Like, you're just a sack of crap waiting to take another dump tomorrow morning. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do with you. Should I report you or ban you? Or what do you want me to do with you, Gimmich? Yeah. You worthless sack of vile crap. Okay, so Samsung's robot arm has become a chef. We talked about this last week. The Seabot Chef, which is part of Samsung's AI push, did have some help from the Michelin star chefs, but as you can see, it's capable of making things that you can eat. Look at that, those prongs, the Samsung prongs. This is better than Hitachi. Yeah. Some of you people will be impressed by the work of these robot arms. Many of you will buy them in your house someday. They'll be descending from your hood, your vent hood. Yeah, isn't that cool? David, I think you can learn a lot from this. No, I can't. No, I'm so sorry. Guy tells Nancy Pelosi prison time's coming soon. Huh? Well, yeah, to Donald Trump, but not to Nancy Pelosi. She hasn't done anything wrong. She just makes $120 billion on her job. Yeah, that's kind of suspicious. You know, having a net worth of $120 million, excuse me. I mean, how can she possibly have that kind of net worth? Okay, I saved that in Flipboard. And the metal object too will be saved in Flipboard as well. It's in the tech section, just so you know, under tech tools. All right, let's play Nancy Pelosi. Hey Nancy, what's going on? Oh, wrong guy. Yeah, that's the Uber guy that's leaving office. We got that. There she is. We're waiting.
Nancy!
Hi. Prison time's coming soon. Be ready. Donald Trump.
Not much time left. Bad news for you.
Wow, that poor woman, that was a threat. Yeah. I thought he meant prison time for Donald. Boy, we got a bunch of thugs. The Republican Party are just a bunch of thugs that support Donald's treasonous behavior. I thought she meant this kind of prison time. Yeah. Dave, look, more articles of impeachment are coming. I know. I was the one that predicted this. Remember that? The Republicans think they can stonewall this and not even have a trial in the Senate, and that nobody's going to, look at the fact that Mitch McConnell's getting money from a Russian oligarch. Hello. Same with Lindsey Graham. Now, the House counsel suggests Trump could be impeached again. Yeah. I said this from the beginning. I'm probably the first person to talk about it. The dossier, hey, Scissor Fight, every time they sucker me into playing Larry, they drink a beer. I know. Well, I'm not encouraging alcoholism, but a lot of these people, their livers are about fried, so they're probably not going to be in the show much longer, Scissor Fight. So, Yeah. Give them the last laugh before their liver kicks in on them. You know, the liver doesn't tell you you're going to die soon. There's no pain. Yeah, it just kind of like quits working and then you turn yellow and die. That's the fate many of you drinkers are facing. The dossier is not French. No, and it came originally from a Russian general called Oleg Erovinkin. And I'd gladly give you the link, but I believe you're the same person who's so retarded that you keep saying that it's a fake dossier. No, even Mueller said it was real. You cannot deny this. Look at this picture right now. I show it to you right now. Look at Oleg Erovinkin lost life on Boxing Day, right after the dossier was delivered. No, I'm serious. This is the general, the mystery death of the ex-KGB general, and you don't get this in the mainstream media. This is an important story. The mystery death of an ex-KGB chief linked to MI6's spy dossier on Donald Trump. Yeah, check it. That's what I'm talking about, man. Check it, man. Oleg Erovinkin, former general in the KGB and a successor of the FSB, was found dead in the back of his car in Moscow on Boxing Day in mysterious circumstances. Erovinkin was a key aide to Igor Sechin, a former deputy prime minister and now head of Rosneft, the state-owned oil company who is repeatedly named in the dossier. Christopher Steele then acquired this, and there's no allegations that have been proven that it's not real. It's all pointing to it's real, and Donald Trump is on the take with Russia. That's right. Organic coffee time, everybody. So this is the new look. We'll be seeing impeachment acts coming one after another because there's more than enough to build at least 4 or 5 articles of impeachment against Donald Trump. Go ahead. Yes. Oh. Hey, how are you? Oh, okay. No problem. No. That's okay. Take your time. Don't even think about getting back in a hurry. Just take your time. All right. All right. Love you too. Thanks for calling. Take care. Take care. Bye-bye. So Sarah will be running a little late tonight. She had a girls' night out with her friends. Yeah, I know. I think it's kind of cool. Wow, you tried Guatemalan mocha Java blend? Real smooth, Max. That's great. Excellent. No, she just went out and had a wonderful time with her friends at a new restaurant. You counted 19 articles of impeachment? I would not doubt that. I can piece together 4 or 5 for simplicity purposes, but you're right. No, I agree with you. Image and video screen capture. Wow. Is it free? As long as it's free. I mean, Screencast is free. I'll put that in tech as well. A lot of stuff in tech tools. Yeah, I'll keep it up for tomorrow too. Thanks for the link. Christmas is here. More technology? Okay. We like technology. Yeah, we just covered the Uber founder stepping down. All right. I know this is upsetting some of you retardicans, so I'm going to pull this off the screen and bring up some of the more important images of Donald Trump that maybe are better and more favorable to your liking. Oh, yes, people that support the president like they should do. Yeah. Some of you don't understand that. Some of us don't think Donald Trump is a very good person, let alone president. You just don't get that, do you? And we live in a free country, unlike China, where it's not free, where you're sent to re-education camps if you think that your president is a bad person. They can't even disagree with Xi Jinping's position on Hong Kong, or you could go to jail. But Donald Trump has got some serious issues going on. He's kind of like a boiling pot of chaos. And you chose this person as our president. Well, let's be clear. Well, after 8 years with Obama, I can see why many Republicans somehow think this guy's an improvement, but no, he's not. He's just as New World Order as Obama, and he's just as divisive. Dave, will you go on Jimmy Kimmel's late night talk show? I can't go on personally. My security detail takes so much money to get me around. So I can do a show through Skype or something. Michael Malkin exposes Soros and the globalist mass migration racket. Trump has a tiny little black heart. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, very interesting theory. I know. Michelle Malkin, yeah, she's been very outspoken. I almost think that she's kind of a part of the, I don't know, the paid pundit group. Yeah. Conservative pundit Michelle Malkin's latest book is required reading for anyone wishing to understand the forces and interests behind the open borders and mass migration lobby. Open Borders, Inc. is a scathing indictment of this irresponsible and dangerous lobby and exposes it as a corrupt racket aiming to undermine the United States and other Western nations by making borders irrelevant and facilitating massive and unsustainable levels of migration. Malkin's left-wing critics frequently label her and pretty much anyone who supports common sense pro-American immigration reform as anti-immigrant. Yep, so I approve of what she's doing, and I think the book will probably be a good read, although I have not read it. I show you the border fence that I've been talking about recently, and even the 1,000-mile fence I originally talked about in 2008 that Trump stole from me. As a sensible American, I believed even back in the 90s, early 90s, that a fence was necessary to defend our border. And now people around the world are liking my container fence idea, an idea we built on the show together. It all came together in our show. We realized that there's hundreds of thousands of these containers available at ports of entry across the country, and we're not using them, so why not put them to use? That's one of the ways we're going to do that, and I will have a fence built within a year. Whereas Trump still can't build, 100 miles of it? Of his stupid slap fence, which doesn't make any sense at all. And let's not forget that Trump stole my idea and called it a wall. Oh, I'm going to build a 1,000-mile wall. Very strong, very, very strong. Well, who's going to pay for it? Mexico's going to pay for it. Yeah, sure. And they didn't pay for it, did they, Donald? And then you turned down $24 billion from Nancy Pelosi. She was willing to put up $24 billion. It would have been built by now if Trump had just said, oh, okay, we'll let the Dreamers and the DACA people stay for another 5 years and give them a chance to become a U.S. citizen. That's all he had to do. But no. He picked a fight with Pelosi and immediately got on their bad side, and that's why he is divisive as a president. It's no joke to know that this is divisiveness. You see it in everything Trump does. Here, have a candy cane. So, Meta-Nemesis, we missed you last night, but we're going to open our present when you're here and Sarah's here. So we're still waiting on Sarah, but thank you for coming in. Yeah, cool. So you got a tiny URL to that link? That doesn't work. No. That's a weird tiny URL site, Max. Why don't you just send the real picture? This is the direct link. It'll work. That's the direct link to the Oleg Erevinkin. Yes. Yeah, Trump has like a burnt stump for a heart. All I can say is I don't wish any bad upon Donald Trump, but his behavior has become completely uncontrollable. It's been a problem ever since he became president, and it's destabilized our country. The Twitter remarks, endless tweets, are absolutely disturbing, considering they undermine the flow of our government's policies. And he's so pro-Zionist that he's steering our country closer and closer to more involvement in the Middle East area protecting Israel. We can't possibly take an objective position on this because of his staunch pro-Zionist stance. Hey, all sides. Yeah, it's almost 2020. You know what that means. Okay. Prince Andrew, disgraced by his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, is left out in the Christmas cold. Yeah, I heard about that. They didn't even bring him to the Christmas gathering. He was shunned by the royal family today. Disgrace was stripped. The royal was stripped of most of his royal duties following a disastrous BBC interview in which he defended his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. And on Christmas Day, he was ordered not to join his family for the traditional 11 a.m. service at the small parish church on the Sangraham estate. I heard he went with his mother privately to pray for his soul and the return of his libido. It must be difficult for Prince Andrew to have a normal libido, considering everyone thinks he's some sort of a pervert, you know? I'm sure his wife, Sarah, his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, will give him the kind of support she can to get him through these tough times. That was tragic about Nancy Pelosi. I mean, somebody threatening her, that's ridiculous. Okay, more Trumpisms. Let's listen to his words while I come up with some more things to talk about.
Senate lawmakers advising lawmakers. Secretary Pompeo is here. Secretary of State Mike Bolton, John Bolton is here. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Oman, UAE, Chile. But China's their supply chain is breaking up. We must seek real bipartisan solutions. As bad as it is, it meant something. The members of our armed forces, and you understand that very well, the members of our armed forces to immediately waive all applicable state taxes despite these obstacles. Karen, Americans of all walks of life rose up and...
Yeah, so we are really impressed with his new abilities to read. He's really improved. I know. And because of his teleprompter he gets at his ear, they tell him 5 things at a time to say, kind of like Barack Obama. Well, let's be clear. Michael and I have been working as a transgender couple. I wasn't supposed to say that. Okay. All that stammering that he did was Barack Obama waiting just to get his words out. Or it was part of the audio animatronic ability of the Obama module. The primary ability of the module was to deliver a speech without any interruptions. During the early phases of the Obama 4000, the ability of the technology was imperfect, but now, through the advent of modern voice smoothing technology, you cannot tell that this is actually robotic in nature. Beep. Okay. I will never vote for anybody defending Nancy Pelosi either. Yeah, I can't stand Nancy Pelosi. I'm more of a Michelle Bachmann person. Yeah, whatever happened to her? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't like the Democratic Party at all. And I would never defend Nancy Pelosi under any circumstances. The Democrats have become crybabies. And all they do is, wah, 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 wah. Donald Trump is debating me. Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. I know. I'm glad you're not talking about me, because I would never support Donald Trump or Nancy Pelosi. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not a two-party idiot, a Trump-tard. Some of you people are struggling with that. You still think that Trump is a good guy, when he's clearly not. There's something wrong with your shit detectors in your head, that you make anyone think that he's some sort of a good guy. Here's a new rule. If you can listen to Trump speak without thinking he sounds like an idiot, you're an idiot. Okay? Oh, I don't understand. What are you saying? That's a tough thing to think about. So you're saying if I don't think he sounds like an idiot, I do without, or do not, or do. I don't know what you're saying. You just wake up. He's got so many Russian connections, he might as well just, have estate out there in the Siberian wilderness. He represents us like a whole, well, grab him by the pussy in the United States. This is a guy that can't even literally speak properly, let alone he can't be our support. We can't throw our support. And I don't support Nancy Pelosi either. Even after facial reconstructive surgery, I still won't support her. No. Although I do look a lot like her. Yeah, ooh, I know. I just think it's wrong for you to, criticize me and support Attila the Hutt, Jabba the Hutt. I mean, come on. He stole like 15 of my ideas. How can you even stand to even be a Trump supporter when you know he stole 15 of my ideas, including the 1,000-mile fence? How can you even stand to be here? No, I'm not angry. I'm very happy that Sarah's out for a time out with her friends. Thank you very much. Thanks for sharing. I'm risk-free? Really? Well, I consider myself a trendy politician. As you can see, my profile has been well received by the world audience. People realize that I came out of hiding many years ago and realized that the bag-faced politician wasn't working. I had to take the bag off my head and do the show real time. I do have I have that totally. You want to see the Russian bride picture with Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham? Here it is. There they are, the Russian brides. William Barr wrote a 19-page letter to Rod Rosenstein asking us not to investigate Michael Flynn before we found out Michael Flynn was working for Russia. So William Barr is on record supporting Russia, right in their face. Yeah. And I'm not making this up. And of course, Lindsey Graham getting money from Russia, meeting with Russian associate, a man who has dual citizenship in 2 countries, but is close friends with Oleg Deripaska. This guy right here, Blavatnik. I don't mean Alan Dershowitz, I mean Blavatnik. Yeah. Here he is receiving, having a conversation with a guy that funds his re-election. Lindsey Graham gets $3 million total so far from Len Blavatnik, and same with Mitch McConnell. Now that's called a partial or subjective bias, which cannot possibly be allowed in a trial. I move that Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham recuse themselves from voting in the upcoming impeachment hearing. I move that they both be stricken from the Senate for having received money from Russia and should be impeached for that simple purpose that they are working for Russia, committing what is called treason. All right? That's what I would like to see. Will it happen? I don't know. Democrats are really corrupt too. Joe Biden has been receiving money from Burisma. We know that because Giuliani sent a couple of thugs over there to find this out. Yeah. Well, people that Donald Trump says he doesn't even know posed 10 times with him in pictures. Len Parvus and the other guy, Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman are posing here. They got the dirt on Joe, but notice how Giuliani has not prosecuted Joe Biden. Notice how he hasn't, as an attorney, he hasn't filed a lawsuit. Now, Giuliani would have to file a lawsuit against Joe Biden, and William Barr would have to take that lawsuit and bring it to public view. But you notice there's no lawsuit pending against Joe Biden right now. Isn't that weird? What do you Republicans think about that? How come Donald Trump has not filed a lawsuit against Joe Biden for his Burisma donation? Anyone know? No, you don't know, do you? You don't even know why Donald Trump has not prosecuted anybody in the Democratic Party that have committed unbelievable acts of perjury like Elizabeth Warren or Ilhan Omar, who we know now gets money from Qatar, and she married her brother, her gay brother, in order for him to become a U.S. citizen. She needs to be prosecuted. So what exactly, could you, any of you Trump-tards, respond why Donald Trump hasn't prosecuted any of these people? I'll just sit here and wait for you to respond. Read my lips. Clock's ticking. I'm waiting. Why hasn't Trump prosecuted anybody in the Democratic Party? Beep. Time up. Because he's an inside player. He's basically their puppet. Thank you. I knew when the news flow, the flow of news started slowing down about 2 weeks ago. You know, we had a mad rush of news during the impeachment process, but now it's slowed down to like a trickle. I knew that there would be a kind of a lag, even in the show, because we were like riding stories like every day. It was like unbelievably fast story transitions. And now we're kind of like, yeah. So we've all come to the conclusion that Republicans are going to vote one way and the Democrats are going to vote for the other. So we're kind of at a stalemate. And yes, more impeachment articles will be coming from the House, no question about it. You know, I can't even talk about a lot of the false flags that have been happening in America. It's been a problem because as much as I like to talk about them, I can't. It turns out that YouTube will censor any credible proof that something's not real. And they call that hate speech. So I'm very careful not to present anything that would be considered real by some people who contest the mainstream media narrative. Self-driving Mercedes will be programmed to sacrifice pedestrians to save the driver. So chances are, if you're driving a Mercedes, you don't really care if you happen to run over some bag person. You will be facing criminal charges, though, if you don't stop and report it to the police. So if you're driving along in your Mercedes and you're not even driving and it's autonomously driving and you feel this like boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that's probably a bag person that you just ran over. So the best thing to do, it's advisable to stop your vehicle and say, vehicle, stop in autonomous mode, cease, and hopefully it'll stop. And then you can report it to the police. And maybe they can help that poor bag person who's completely been run over because Mercedes decided to put more emphasis on you, the driver, or the person being self-driven, than to actually care about people in the road. Yeah. Yowza. Now for the fun stuff. Now, a couple days ago, I was exposed to the incredible problem of plastic waste. And we came up with an amazing river plastic solution that came to our show. And I am so thrilled to see this actually being done, I can't tell you. I was thinking of something very similar at the time. I'm still looking at options, but these are amazing technologies that actually provide the ability to bring plastic waste into the river, from the river, and put it in accumulators and begin compressing it. Isn't that cool? Now, right now, these units are not necessarily digesting the plastic right there. And what I'm going to suggest is that we work together to actually create a solution that will melt the plastic right there on the boat. Now, this is a Japanese expert who created, Bestus.com has this. He created an amazing plastic digester, and I showed you this the other night. I'm going to put it out there for you to look at. I'm not going to play it because it's in Japanese, but he's able to put any amount of plastic in this container. Now, this could be on board a ship. And say a ship has an accumulator and we're dropping it in there. We just have to rinse the seawater out of it could be a process, and he could modify this so that it would allow for steaming. But then he turns it down, tightens it down, and it's all self-contained like a pressure cooker, and he presses a button. The temperature will begin, the plastic will begin to melt and become a liquid. Now this does use electricity, so we could charge up batteries with solar panels on board a ship. Now, you know the whole concept Boy and Slat has of putting plastic booms out there to collect plastic in the garbage patch out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean? Well, I thought this would be a very good fusion of technology to bring his idea out to the ocean. And as we're bringing the plastic in, we're melting it down and compressing it into cartridges. And each cartridge could be a safe way to handle that plastic and could be brought in either the form of gas, oil, or kerosene. He literally turns all of these plastic waste into these products right here, gas, diesel, and kerosene. It'd be a fantastic way to store the plastic on board, and you could even use the diesel to run the ship. It's a brilliant idea, and it could actually be a fantastic fusion of ideas. The biggest problem Boy and Slat's having is a lot of the plastic is falling underneath the boom and the collecting. Yeah, it's collecting a huge amount. In the process, it can't really distribute it or compress it. So if we are allowing this type of behavior to go on where we don't have a real solution, we come up with a better solution. Necessity is the mother of invention, right? And that's the key. The key is to come up with new solutions. Now, I have not contacted Boy and Slat to come up with this idea, and I've not contacted the Japanese maker of this amazing product that melts plastic. But the idea of the two together working in tandem makes total sense for ocean vehicles that could actually put these on buoyant things and carry the liquid plastic around as it solidifies or gets thicker. Carry it around in floating like mattresses, things that would be able to be accumulated later, picked up by other ships. So we could have two ships at the edges of both booms. That's the theory. Right now, Boy and Slat's not using ships. He's using just open buoys that are actually, leading and letting the wind pull it. I believe we could automate two ships on both sides and create an amazing tool to get around. So my idea is simple, really. It's you got one ship here, like battleship, and you've got one ship here. There's the ship, and then you've got the tow line right there. See that? That's the tow line, and that could have lots of different mesh material and even prongs or hooks that can hook the plastic. Okay, and are you with me? And then you take and put that hook or that plastic on a spindle on one side of the ship, and you run it. You haul that plastic in on a very slow rate into the ship, and then you can connect these two and have the line going back, or you could go back and reverse through the system through pulleys. But the line could go back, and you could virtually have a constant hook system, and the hooks could be collapsible, and they would all collapse into a set area so that when they get to this area, they'd open up. And you could virtually pull all this plastic in to one side and compress it into and turn it into oil, diesel, or gas. Isn't that amazing? So this is a concept that I think we can really, really build on to create a technology that will truly clean the ocean. Truly. I don't see any reason why we would be stifled by the barriers that they're facing. He crowdfunded it. Boy and Slat crowdfunded the idea. And he got $7 million from a TED Talk and a crowdfunding to do this. I don't know what he's doing now, but his next goal, he's a young man, his next goal is to improve the model that they have. But to me, the model isn't even at its infancy. To me, the model could be so much better. It's like not quite there yet. But I really admire his effort, and I certainly applaud his effort up to this point. But perfecting this is going to be the key, and getting it to work in realistic terms in any weather conditions will be a big part of our future. We're going to get rid of the plastic, folks. We're not going to sit around and be like Greta Thunberg, who simply doesn't, she's giving up now. Did you hear?
It is, the money is there. If we can save the banks, then we can save the world. The money is there. If we can save the banks, the money is there. If we can save the banks.
No, really, they're not going to help. And now she's giving up. She says, she achieved nothing. We've achieved nothing, she says. Let's take a look here. Yeah, so I think people who are so negative about what's going on in the world and are getting free press time to talk about carbon taxation and how important global climate change is, they're actually not helping at all. The key to fixing this problem is to stop being negative like Greta. The very fact that she made the cover of Times is indicative of how brain dead our society's become. So we have to actually look at cleaning the water and the air. There's no way around it. It has to be done. And we're not going to get that help from the people that call themselves the banks. These are the keys to what's happening. So we are literally spearheading this third party to fix the problems that our country's facing. No, it hasn't been. It's not. It's actually authentic. She said it. There's no breaks in that audio.
I mean, it is, the money is there. If we can save the banks, then we can save the world.
There are no audio breaks in that line. Yeah, I can see the entire architecture of that audio clip, and it's perfect. There are no breaks. Can you prove it's been altered? Is she Jewish? I didn't know, but she just cares about the banks, I know that. She's basically a shill for George Soros, you know that. Greta gives autism a bad name, wow. Well, she makes Asperger's look really good then. Anyway, get back to your Titanic experience. It's hilarious. Guys, he really is funnier than I could even imagine. My New Year's resolution is to not listen to anything you say in the room because I think you're a liar. I love fries. Yeah. Trump is more dangerous than Putin, really? Well, Putin controls Trump, so I don't know. I think Trump is less dangerous than Putin, but Germans are saying Trump is more dangerous than Putin, Kim Jong-un, and Xi Jinping put together. Washington Examiner.
Trump tweeted, Russia, Syria, and Iran are killing, or on their way to killing, thousands of innocent civilians in Idlib province. Don't do it. Turkey is working hard to stop this carnage. Officials from 24 states gathered near the nation's capital for training by a Harvard-affiliated democracy project. The key message, developing a military mindset will help them protect the integrity of the vote in 2020. A strong typhoon that barreled through the central Philippines left at least 20 people dead and forced thousands to flee their homes. Devastating Christmas celebrations in the predominantly Catholic country, and large crowds across southern Asia gaze at the sky and marvel on Thursday.
That's special. Boring. Boring. Down for the count. All right, back to the news. Netanyahu rebuffs a challenge from within despite graft charges, and he's still leading the Likud party. He wins party leadership, as usual. We'll see if he controls the country in the next couple weeks. Yes, Pelosi's best move might be to keep the impeachment in her pocket and not send it to the Senate. No need for a Senate impeachment trial, says former Bush advisor Brad Blakeman. There you go. Yeah, so just he's officially impeached, but the Senate will be ruling on it until they actually decide to have a trial. Meanwhile, the Democrats build more impeachment charges. So until they're ready, Nancy can hold on to the 2 impeachment charges they've already passed until they have a whole slew of other impeachment charges, which no rational person in the world, not even a retardican, would be able to say no to. Well, I think you know you're a liar, and I think people have accused you of being a liar, Isla Fries, and that's a big thing for you. So I think you have to work on that. Cromwell's World, we haven't seen you in a long time. Wow. Yeah. We still do the show every day, man. I remember you from 2008 to 2009 and 10. Adele, welcome. What is your attention? Attention, please. Mystery voter says, hey, hey, hey. Walking down the street. Which way did they go? Hey, hey, we're the monkeys. People say we monkey around. Play that. Okay. Let's take a look. Fox News pitching their propaganda yet again. Let's take a look. What if Fox News covered Trump the way it covered Obama?
What is wrong with this president? How dumb is he?
The purpose of a journalist is to hold people in power accountable.
Now, we're going to vet the president. We're going to talk about his vacation, his golfing.
2 golf outings for the president cost $2.9 million. That alone is amazing.
Should a president, the leader of the free world, be on a social network tweeting?
No.
He's kind of a celebrity president. He's kind of like Ryan Seacrest.
This is a president who does not really know what he wants to do. He simply wants to be popular with everybody, every audience before which he stands.
The president seems almost obsessed with cable TV, or am I wrong?
This is a president who rules by executive authority, executive action.
When he's not doing executive actions, he's out on the golf course.
The president heads to Florida for a boys' weekend of golf.
Yes, this president is the beneficiary of the vision and the action of his predecessor.
The rule used to be a sitting president doesn't criticize his predecessor, especially by name.
Has any president in your lifetime taken on this kind of tone, this kind of harshness, either towards his predecessor or towards a single media outlet? I have never seen this before.
Without the teleprompter, the president doesn't know exactly what to do correctly.
The president's budget that he gave today, all right, doesn't cut any deficit. It increases the debt.
For the man who said we have to get our deficit under control, he's not doing it. Maybe it's like golf, Mr. President. You play a lot of that.
He's certainly not acting like the most transparent president in history, is he, Juan?
What's in those records that you don't want us to know about?
Once again, he's pandering to the worst regimes and thugs and dictators.
This is a president that is acting like a dictator. This is a president who is ignoring the rule of law and siding with lawbreakers.
This is a president now who's demonstrated that he will lie to push through a program.
And once the president tweets it, then it becomes canon. Oh, that's a fact. The president says it's a fact.
He's in love with campaigning. He's going to fundraisers tonight.
He achieved that significant accomplishment earlier today while vacationing in Florida on your dime.
This president and the people around him are convinced that God has anointed him to fix everything in one fell swoop. That's not how American politics work. That's not how life works.
This is a president who has become known, I think, to the public as a blamer.
He never makes any concessions. He always treats his opponents as though they're enemies.
We have a president who can never admit he's wrong. He's so insecure and vain at the same time.
He doesn't realize that the president has that power to set a tone and other people follow it.
What he's really trying to do is to divide the country and to get his people to turn out to vote.
He simply doesn't like being mocked. Maybe he's a little thin-skinned.
I've been saying, Mr. President, put your pants on, sit at the table, man up.
Skip the trash talk. It only diminishes the office of the president.
If you want to work with somebody, you don't call them names.
This is a very quick and easy, cheap way to score political points, but it's a terrible, corrosive way for a president of the United States to govern a country.
Why don't you talk in an aspirational way to people and be more positive and more uplifting?
Mr. President, you need to stop acting like a schoolyard bully and start acting like the leader of the free world.
Mr. President, everyone is laughing at us. You're like a schoolyard bully. No one's afraid of you. Putin sure as hell isn't.
With all due respect, Mr. President, maybe it is time you stop looking at a TV tuned to Fox and looked in a mirror tuned to, I don't know, you.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Mr. President, for watching tonight.
Now, the glaring double standard that exists here is nothing short of incredible.
And finally, new rule, Republican.
Thank you for enduring that. Yeah. I think I'll write I'm not really sure if we can truly analyze this any better than we already have. Yeah. That was just all the accusations that Fox had against Obama. You know, they've never really been completely fair. Fox, when they first started broadcasting, said they were, fair and balanced, but they haven't been. Yeah, thank you. They haven't been fair and balanced. They've been screwed up and biased, but so is CNN. And therein lies the problem. John, I sprayed my fruit enzyme spray, which I put on my face to help me maintain my youthful appearance, even though I'm ancient. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, so far I've taken about 7 years off my life. Well, off the aging process. Here I was in 1967, and you can see I'm getting younger. Yeah. I know. It's amazing, isn't it? Well, let's be clear. Let's be unclear. Well, let's be transgender. Here I was in 2008 when we first started this effort, this monumental effort to build America's third party, and against all odds. And I looked different. I had a different color back then. Wrong video. Sorry. Hi, Tiddly D. Tiddly D, welcome, man. Yeah, I just, sometimes I get the wrong video, but here I was in 2008.
Hi, good morning. As you can see, I'm still wearing the shirt I wore last night and yesterday at Blog TV.
And as you can see, I'm pretty much the same guy. I haven't changed much. I even have that shirt that I wore that day. It's in the closet. It's mint condition, too. The car I drove, mint condition. The vehicle in the back, I got rid of that. I got rid of that motorhome back there. It took me 5 years to sell it. By the time I got around to selling it, it didn't even work. I mean, I got to tell you, do not let gas sit around in a motorhome more than 6 months without replacing it with fresh gas. I learned the hard way. But luckily I found someone to buy it who had a mechanic as a friend who was going to take care of it and dump the gas out of it and put new gas in it. So, yeah, but if you have gas sitting around for more than 6 months in any one of your vehicles, you got to put new fresh gas in there or dump it or get it running. I only got about $3,500 for that motorhome. It originally cost about $25,000. $3,500 was the best I could do, but hey, when I started selling it at the beginning of that time, it was running great. But by the end of the 5 years, the gas had gotten bad, and it pretty much shot. They varnished the engines, so it had to have a really good cleaning. Probably an induction system was used on it, but I didn't handle it after that. I was just happy to sell it to a nice couple. They were really happy. The interior, I redid the entire interior. And that type of technology, those Dodge vans are pretty reasonable. They are. Right now, you can go to Craigslist and get a motorhome. Indulge your inner bit, your inner Brit. Well, say I go to Craigslist right now and I look for a motorhome, RV or motorhome. We can do that. Yeah, we have the technology. Isn't this great to have online searchability throughout our lives? It's just so easy. Here's where I live, out in Skagit, near Washington, or at the coast of Washington. But let's take a look at an RV here. RVs and campers, set it up to have the cheapest coming at you. $11,000 for this thing right there. A 1995 Holiday Rambler for $11,000. That's pretty nice. That's a much bigger engine. That's a diesel pusher. For 11 grand, that's not bad. Nice interior. There's no slide outs on that model, but it's still very, very nice. It's got all wood cabinets. Those Ramblers are built well. Yeah, let me search for motorhome. Dodge. No. See, I sold it at the right time. I couldn't even, I can't even find them now. Good to know. So you can get a really good value on Craigslist for a vehicle like that. It got, at its best, it got 10 miles per gallon. That was a Class C. We've got 10 miles per gallon when it was running properly. Your bedroom has a flat tire. There is a guy in Venice, California that he's called the Van Guy. And he buys like vans, like Dodge and Ford and Chevy vans, and guts them out, basically makes it available to have a bed in there, and he leases these out. He parks them on public streets and leases them out for $350 a month. Now you're only paying $300 a month for electric included. That's amazing, Max. Wow. But it is kind of like stealth camping, tiddly-dee. But he's been able to do it legally. He can park on city streets in Venice as long as he moves that van once a week. So he actually has a schedule where he goes to the van, and he must have a lock on the engine and a lock on the ignition. He gets in there, whether they're living in it or not, and starts it up and moves it to the other side of the street and hands them back the van. Isn't that pretty funny? And he has like 10 or 15 of these vehicles. They're all in his name, and apparently you can have many vehicles in your name in California, and he pays the registration and the insurance on them. Yeah, and then people are just living there in that van for $350 a month. A person making their Social Security check, which is close to $800, has enough to live in that van and have enough cash for food and whatever else they are doing. It's pretty sad that our country can't come up with solutions. We got guys like that making money on the side off of fleecing off of old Social Security recipients. It would be a great option for 16% increase in homelessness in California. And I'm recommending that LA remove their ban on living in your van. In certain cities in LA, you can't do it. The vans are rocking, and they keep knocking. Here's a cute little, kind of like a casita. And this woman has everything all worked out, and she's got her little camping spot worked out. A lot of women have actually done this. Believe it or not, there's a group of about 500 women that travel around the country in their small trailers and motorhomes. And they networked and created a group that meets every year in one particular park, and they have a big, huge gathering. And these are women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Seriously. So the mobile life and technology that it affords you is actually giving everybody a chance to, get better, get a better life without having to pay huge amounts of rent. And Los Angeles is rent capital of the world. It's like $2,000 for a one-bedroom apartment there per month. So hats off to all of you people who are willing to do that. It's not exactly easy. You're right. Many seniors are selling their homes and doing Walmart camping. Well, I just showed you a motorhome, a really nice motorhome for $11,900 that probably runs great and you could definitely live in. So, I mean, it's possible to live in a Walmart parking lot. And if you're really the economizer, this is a great way to, say you're a MGTOW guy and you've gone on your own way and you've decided this is your future. This is MGTOW ready for all of you guys who are special needs with autism and MGTOW-itis, men who've gone their own way. Yeah, you've got your full kitchenette, bedroom, and I don't know if there's a bathroom in there, but you could always go poopy-whoopy in your chair on your way through the market or use the bathroom at the Walmart. Oh. Yeah. By the way, if you're going to invest at all, now is a good time to invest in Depends underwear for adults and children. Yeah. No, I'm not from D.C. I did go to D.C. last summer. That was fun.
So we were talking.
We had an incredible fun trip, Sarah and I did. We literally walked across D.C. by foot. 10 miles of walking in one day. And my calves were like rubber when I got back. Oh, it's hilarious. We were leaving the area and we finally stopped in Virginia at this outlet mall that had a shoe store because we wanted better shoes. Our feet were killing us. So if you can imagine, we pulled into this outlet mall and we couldn't find out where it was located. We just set it on this particular shoe store we like, was on the sign. And we literally walked around limping around this mall looking for this store. We finally found it and bought some new shoes, but man, I got cold feet thinking about that.
About the dog, we're obsessed by this dog. We've had it for 2 weeks.
Take all your lives to do.
Yes, and the dog.
You've
got
to shed any light,
anything?
Mine was actually, the last conversation, decent conversation, was probably to my dog.
I'm so glad I don't speak English. Did you understand that? David took his shoes off and unleashed the dogs. No, I don't have any smell. I have no sweat in my feet. Sweat free. It's kind of nice. I don't look so angry. I'm happy. Yeah, I heard VW is bringing back the microbus. And their newest 2020 model is absolutely amazing. Yeah, this is Volkswagen's newest look. It's pretty amazing. I lived in a VW van back in the 1970s and 80 and 79, 80. And yeah, look at that. That's not as big as my van. There's something like I had. Yeah, I had one of the older ones like over there, but that's pretty comparable in size when you compare the two. It even looks roomier, actually. Thank you. Okay, baby girl Green Eyes has joined. Prince Andrew's scandal photo that may have ruined the Queen's legacy. Let us check the photo of her son, Prince Andrew, and see what it reveals. Now be warned, this may be fake news. Huge miscalculation. The Prince Andrew photo that doomed the Queen. Beware, this could be fake news. Alert, alert. Oh. New underestimate maternal love for
Do I regret the fact that he has quite obviously conducted himself in a manner unbecoming? Yes.
Unbecoming? He was a sex offender.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm being polite.
Prince Andrew's disastrous relationship with Jeffrey Epstein may be the worst scandal to hit the Windsors, but it's certainly not the only one. In 1992, a 23-minute phone call believed to be between Princess Diana and Gin Fortune heir James Gilby sent the palace into a meltdown.
I remember that, yeah. She was allegedly sleeping around on Prince Charles. Yeah, I'm doing great. Are you okay? Well, I mean, Prince Charles, heir to the throne, you know. The Queen couldn't have that. Well, why would she? Prince Charles is a stud. Haven't you seen him in his gardening outfit? He's very attractive. Really? Surely you know that Prince Charles is related to Count Dracula. Yes. Apparently the family has similar characteristics. Now, Prince Philip apparently disapproves of Prince Charles, so there's nothing we can really do about that. But he is the heir to the throne, and the Queen did say that she's stepping down soon. So we shall see.
Do you not know that you are not free? You are part of my great plan, which is to slaughter you and your children.
That's not true. I don't believe it. You know, this is fake news. This is how good CGI can be, and it can actually put words in people's mouths. She never said that. That is fake news, people. Yeah. Don't even think that the Queen is such an evil person, that she's a nice person. And poor Prince Andrew had just stayed with Jeffrey Epstein for a short while he was in New York. Hello, Sarah. You made it.
David. I made it.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No problem. I'm glad you made it safe and sound. I was worried about you. But you made it, and you looks like you had a big salad, did you?
I did have a big salad.
Did you try it?
I ate the whole thing.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good.
Good. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, Sarah's going to give me a little break while I have a little bite to eat from the Thursday tech show that I made. I made a kind of a bangers and mash kind of thing. Sausage and scalloped potatoes with peas.
And scalloped potatoes.
Yes. Okay, technology of the future, what to mean, what to do. As you know, folks, we support green, clean technology, things that'll help the government get money back and clean the environment at the same time.
So these are both on live?
Yeah, I have YouTube out. I just don't have it up close and personal yet. One of my ideas is to use the Savonius windmill to create energy, low-cost energy, and these Savonius windmills could be constructed on every single telephone pole in America and generate electricity at wind speeds as low as 5 miles an hour. So that's something we'll talk about when I get back. Thank you. Season's greetings, yes. And oh, by the way, Meta-Nemesis, are you in the room? Is Meta-Nemesis in the room? So as soon as Meta-Nemesis comes in the room, Sarah and I will open our gift from him. We have yet to do that. So if he does pop up, because he likes to park himself in there as our mod.
Let's get chapped because, you know, wind blowing against them, they just get dried out. That's why they get chapped. They don't have enough moisture. And yes, I don't like chapped lips. That's true. Here we go. Sarah, you missed my hat? Oh, I left my hat in my purse. I did wear it pretty much all day. Well, part of the day. I went to a movie and I wore my hat there. Oh, hello, Tiddly D. Merry Christmas to both of you. Cromwell, 564. I wonder if that's an old Cromwell's World that used to watch us. He was fun. Joe, I think you're from Kosovo. Which is okay. No judgments. No, I did not remove my jacket in the theater. Or during dinner. I went to a movie and dinner with some friends today, which is good. I realize I do have good friends. You know, good friends are the ones like you can spend a couple hours with them and it feels like it's only been an hour and you're like, what? Where did the time go? Ah, with good friends. I guess that's okay. I did not see the new Star Wars. It was with some girlfriends, so I went and saw Little Women. I liked it. Sorry, bad professor, yes. Final Dream thinks the new Star Wars is a cuck film? Okay. Well, Little Women is probably more than that. Eek! Little Women, I know. Well, it's a good for a girl's day out. Based on such an old novel, of course. It's pretty cool, though. I like that in Little Women, the new one, like in the book, she gets married at the end. But this one was kind of like, you're kind of left wondering if she got married at the end. I was going to read that. I completely disagree with you, Tiddly D. I can't even believe you said such a thing. Ridiculous. Well, yeah. Anyway. Louisa May Alcott never married, but she did take in May's daughter, Louisa, after May's death in 1879 from childbearing fever, caring for little Lulu until her death. Oh. All right.
Was it huge or what?
Was it huge?
Yeah.
It was a good showing.
No.
Don't get all Greta Thunberg on me. I completely, totally different reasons that I'm saying that. You say you want to end women's suffrage. That's ridiculous. I think we should end men's suffrage. That would be like me saying that. Because women can make better decisions. That would be me saying that. I don't think that. I think men and women can both vote. But yes, last week you did The Expanse season 4. Good. Alright, you wanted to see... Oh, you started the new TV series War of the Worlds. Good. And Tiddly D wanted to see more of V, The Final Battle, but they canceled it early. Sorry. I was responding to one chatter who talked about ending women's suffrage. Ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. Anyway. Let's be real. Women make you suffer. Woman make you suffer. Alright. Fair point maxed out credit. Not always, Tiddly D. It's not every woman has the same day. Louisa May Alcott is most famous for her novel Little Women, which has remained in print since its 1868 publication. She was once a servant. She wrote fiction under a pseudonym and didn't want to write Little Women to begin with. Oh, that's pretty cool. Is that Cromwell? Cromwell from Cromwell? Now I have to click on your link. Your name. Gina Justice Music 83 from Block TV. How cool is that? Block TV brought some people together. I know women do actually synchronize when they're in close quarters. It is kind of weird. Very strange. If then else 2020 hot. She grew up among the country's most renowned thinkers. Wow. Her father was a thinker, poet, educator, philosopher, and member of the Transcendentalist Inner Circle. Her sister's childhood teacher was Henry David Thoreau. Wow. And she picked books from the shelves of Ralph Waldo Emerson's gigantic library. And she had crushes on both of those, allegedly. She had crushes on both of those authors. Wow. I don't know what you're saying, Daryl. I'm just reading about Louisa May Alcott. The Alcotts were extremely poor. Her father was a great thinker, but a terrible provider. He would freeze before he would Starve or freeze before he'd sacrifice principle to comfort. His innovative teaching methods often got him kicked out of schools. They moved over 20 times over the course of 30 years. Wow. And there was a stint at a utopian commune called Fruitlands. They lived in the same house as Nathaniel Hawthorne. Wow. Wow. Someone's working overtime for a Darwin Award. Oh yeah, those crazy things. Wow. Okay, thank you. I agree about Mensa being overrated.
Boy, it was pretty cold out there, huh? Was your jacket warm enough?
Yes, my jacket was warm enough.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love my jacket.
I love it too. Beautiful.
Later, Max. Time for bed. Good night, Max. Thanks for being in here. Oh, in 1861, Louisa May Alcott volunteered to be a nurse at a Union hospital in Washington, D.C. But she only lasted at the hospital for 6 weeks because of the 12-hour shifts, the terrifying sights, the difficult living conditions. She came down with typhoid pneumonia. Wow. And she was treated with calomel, which is a poisonous mercury. Yes, sure, Daryl. She died of a stroke at the young age of 55. Wow. Relatively speaking, 55 is a fairly young age. She wrote under some crazy books under the name A.M. Bernard. They claim her publisher suggested she write a book for girls. And her publisher would only publish her father's philosophy book if she would write a book too. So she wrote Little Women to help her father. She wrote it in 10 weeks, drawing on her childhood experiences. There's a book that The Good Wives she wrote in 1869. Good evening, evil dance to good. If Alcott had her way, the heroine would have remained unmarried. But she knew fans of the popular novel wouldn't stand for that kind of unconventional ending. She didn't dare to refuse, and out of perversity went and made a funny match for her. She had Alcott marry a much older German professor. She abandons her literary pursuits for a while and becomes domestic, super domestic. Wow. Louisa May Alcott funded her sister's trips to Europe. Wow. Wow, she was the first woman registered to vote in Concord, Massachusetts. So the heart is the scariest organ. The design of the heart is flawed in that it uses valve chambers which are quickly ruined. Interesting. Interesting thought there, Final Dream, but you're probably right. You're right about the valves. Yeah, it's bad if you do eat bad food. That's not good for your heart. I guess I'll look at the news now. I've been good about avoiding watching the news though, so maybe I'll just hang out with you guys and talk. My friends and I, we were playing a game of, kind of a game, I guess. What are your predictions for 10 years from now? Well, she started with 5 years from now. What are your predictions for 5 or 10 years from now? That's good. You run. I do not run. I probably should run. But I don't. One of my predictions is that we will have self-driving cars. Tiddly D, are you reading a headline? An airline asks passengers to leave after deemed too heavy to fly. That's a lawsuit coming. They maybe would have to pay for extra weight or something. My New Year's resolutions are to be healthier by drinking 3 cups of water every morning. I tried this morning and only made it to 2 cups. So, don't know how I'm going to fare. 3 cups before I eat anything else. Is your New Year's resolution to find someone to marry? Or are you just going to ask every woman? Okay, thank you. Yeah, I am. That was one of my predictions, is that 10 years from now I will still be with David. Well, I have 2 lady friends. Both of my friends are older, though. They're 160 and 170. And they would like to not be single. They always say that, but I don't know. But one definitely wants a Christian man. Preferably Methodist. And one is, well, I guess she's fine. Both were teachers. Well, I guess one still is a teacher, but has another year left in the teaching profession. Yeah, 160, 170. I do have a cat, but I will only have that cat. I don't know. Are you around that age? Neither of my friends have cats. Cromwell's World thinks 10 years from now we'll have people on Mars. That's pretty cool about Gina Justice. Music 83. And Tiddly D says, yes, Elon Musk is making sure we'll have people on Mars. A long time ago, I would think about going to Mars, but I would strongly suggest that anyone that thinks about going to Mars should read the entire Martian Chronicles first. Well, pretty much, don't worry, be happy. Oh, I'm sure. Well, my cat likes to just sleep on my bed. Yes, we have a cat. Our cat's name is Amber. She is one of the oldest cats that I know of. She's like 17 or 18. Or is she 19? I have to ask David. I think we got her in 2003, so maybe she's 16. I could Bengalitis. I'm not sure exactly where it is. Amber is so old, but after we took her on a trip, she's found her voice. She probably is sleeping right now. She found her voice, and she wakes us up in the morning and she meows when she needs wet food. She's become a very finicky eater. Let's see. So she likes wet food. Oh my goodness, the world's oldest cat celebrates their 30th birthday. "38 years is the oldest cat." Every month of life is a year in human life. Wow. Yes, we've spoiled her. We're giving her CBD oil for her old age. We haven't given her catnip. Each month of the first 2 years of a cat's life is equal to a human year. But then at 24 months, 2 calendar years, they switch to only 4 months, four human years for every year, so every 3 months. So if a cat's 3 years old, then it's like 24 plus 8.
Okay, I fixed up the old microwave in the other room and I put the new one in, so we're good. The new technology is in place with the service contract.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I put the service contract in a safe place.
Good.
Yeah, we were finding that microwaves were breaking down.
Cromwell's World's here.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
Cromwell's
you saw
World.
Gina Justice Music 83 from Block TV is next to him in his profile, so they're an item now.
Oh, really? Excellent. Cromwell's World found someone on Blog TV. A match made true. Wow, that's cool. Good to know. Hey, a lot of those early times were really innocent, and hookups today are a little harder for people. So I hear from a lot of young people.
Well, and a lot of older people too. My 2 girlfriends would love to find someone.
I know. People are getting older and they're still
170,
looking.
and
yeah.
They're lonely.
I know. It's, living alone when you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s. I showed a picture of a woman who was in her little trailer out there in the middle of nowhere, building her life. And, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. And it was kind of funny. But I don't have it now. But yeah, a lot of people are moving into RVs and finding life on the road more interesting because they meet people at good Sam Club meetings. And there's actually a network of young women and older women that actually travel around the country in their RVs now, which I find rather interesting. Yes, I used to be known as David with the Soul, but I'm not David Soul. Yes. He looked a lot like me, though. He was smaller. I'm 6 foot. Oh, I'm sorry.
I just had to do something before I go.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe I should close out of this one because the one you're supposed to be monitoring over here is iVlog.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yep. Yeah, I kind of was captivated by the character David Soul in Starsky and Hutch when I was a kid, and his early life was pretty interesting.
You do look a lot like him.
I know, in the face we have a similar look.
That one, yeah. Yes, we're capable. Oh, Meta-Nemesis is here.
Oh, Meta-Nemesis, we'll open up our packages now. That's great.
Yay.
There's David Soul, and there's very similar in facial construct. He's a different guy now, though. He's kind of changed.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. We're going to go off on the screen. Oh, no, actually, we're going to open this up now. Let's do it.
Okay.
Thank you, Meta-Nemesis. Oh my gosh, it's a match.
Okay.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
This is mine?
Yes.
Ta-da! Oh, it's a green package. That's because you can't see it. It's a green screen
With the green
package.
screen, and mine's red. I think this one's for me.
I like these little clips. That's kind of cute, man. I don't know where you found those.
Yeah, this is very cute.
Okay, I'm gonna guess this is
or something.
These are Speedos.
I don't think so. I'm gonna see what you have.
It feels like it's clothing of some sort.
Clothing, let me see. Maybe. Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say maybe it's a tie.
Oh.
One layer down, and we got another layer to go. Look at this. I'm impressed. Very nicely wrapped. Whoa. A new red, white, and blue tie. Yay. This is what I've been wanting all year long, man. This is it.
He's been looking for one.
This is perfect.
He went across country all the way to DC to try to
Thank
find
you.
one.
Awesome. Now I can move my presidential tie to another day and make this my Friday tie.
Yay.
Because my other one was wearing out. Thank you. That's an awesome gift. It's the same brand, Stephen Harris. Yes, it is. Thank you.
That's
I love
awesome.
it. Good job.
Very cool. All right,
Thank
let's
you.
see what mine is. I'm guessing from the shape of it, because he knows maybe I journal. I don't know.
That's awesome.
I don't think David has a flag tablecloth.
Have a what?
Tablecloth, a flag tablecloth.
No, I have some. Yeah, I have some. We did a couple of conventions.
Oh, this is so cool.
Look at that.
The world, according to Mr. Rogers. Important
so
things to remember by Fred Rogers.
That is really nice.
If
She
you could
loves Mr.
only
Rogers.
sense how important you are to the lives of those you meet, how important you can be to the people you may never even dream of, there is something of yourself that you will leave at every meeting with another person.
Thank you so much, Meta-Nemesis.
Thank you. Oh, understanding love.
She'll love reading this. This is good.
Understanding love is one of the hardest things in the world. Oh, this is so cool.
Love isn't a state of perfect caring. It's an active noun like struggle. To love someone is to strive to accept that person exactly the way he or she is. Right here and now.
Oh, I love this. I love you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. You know, we really like just, you know, we don't encourage gifts, but when we get them, they seem to just fit perfectly. Thank you.
The greatest thing we can do is to let people know that they are loved and capable of loving.
Take your tissue paper. Mr. Rogers, won't you be my neighbor?
Oh, goodness. I didn't even know I wanted this book, but I love it.
My neighbor.
Aw.
I'm going to have to fold up my tissue paper to fit in my recycling box. Make a nice neat fold that will save me room in the recycling box. It smells like Meta-Nemesis.
I think, though, this one I just read about competition.
Yes.
I tend to think that, you know, rather than competition, you can go with
Being yourself.
creativity
Be
and
yourself.
like cooperation rather than competition.
Won't you be yourself? It's so easy to be
You're right
yourself.
about peppermint being good if I have a cough. Both my friends seem to have coughs, so hopefully I won't. I'll just eat more candy canes. Some of the times I just held her hand and we said nothing. We didn't have to. After one of those silences, Helen Ross, a good friend, said to me, "Do you ever pray for people, Fred?"
Do you ever pray for people? That's a special pin. Could she speak up a little louder, please? See, when you speak, you have to speak into the microphone. I learned that from doing the Mr. Rogers show for all those years. You know, they say Mr. Rogers wore a sweater because he didn't want to make any noise. I could never understand that.
From the song, "It's you I like. It's not the things you wear. It's not the way you do your hair. But it's you I like. The way you are right now. The way down deep inside you. Not the things that hide you. Not your toys, they're just beside you. But it's you I like.
Thank you.
Every part of you. Your skin, your eyes, your feelings. Whether old or new. I hope that you'll remember, even when you're feeling blue, that it's you I like. It's you yourself. It's you. It's you
I like.
I like.
We should put a backbeat to that, and maybe, it would be, I think Yoko Ono is a good person too. Won't you be my audio glitch? I don't have any real good sounds that would go well with that, other than this. Okay, any questions about what we'd like to talk about, which would be green, clean technologies that might be unique? We found an interesting little story about hemp last week. Yeah, a story came into us that hemp batteries would be just as good, if not better, than lithium ion. Good news for hemp, right? Hip, hip, hemp hooray.
Hi. So, as a friend pointed out to me, doing these things from the first run, when you make it fresh and you do them, is not particularly good because it doesn't give you a good idea of what the actual device will do. There's lots of reasons for that, but one of the really simple ones is when you make it and you paint it and you drop on the electrolyte, there's actually a ton of entrained air in there.
Interesting. So he traps air, and somehow, using no ion exchange, he somehow is able to store electricity. You go, girl. Hey, Don, what's going on? It's Don in the Twitch room. What's happening, dude? Okay, you're here to represent Opus.
Subscribe to this guy.
Yeah, I will. We'll play a little bit more of that later. About hemp batteries, yes. Featured at the 10 o'clock hour from our friends in the UK. So are you a representative of the Opus Dei, the Zionist Vatican Order? Wow. Would you like to share some stories about you and the Pope? John, Paul, George, and Richard? I know. Glad you guys had fun exchanging gifts. David, we want to see the tie-on. Please, thank you. Really? You can't wait till tomorrow night? I will debut tomorrow night with a tie-on, because tonight is Technology Thursday, represented by the water sign. Tomorrow is Freedom Friday, represented by the new flag tie, which is fantastic. Yeah, I'll be in at the top of the hour. 5 o'clock. With my candy cane. That's cool. I'm really impressed with these gifts. Thank you, Metanemesis. Gotta like the hemp battery to see if it's still good. Yeah, I want to see if that works. Hemp batteries. I also got CBD oil for Christmas from my sister, and she was really very kind to get me some really cool CBD oil, which is not to be ingested. It's just for topical use. It's good for anything, skin-wise. So that was pretty cool.
This is so cool.
Yeah, that's great. You got a lot of really good reading there ahead.
Important things to remember.
That's right.
Very cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for everything, Metanemesis. And thank you, Sarah, for spending time in the room in our neighborhood. It's special that we can actually do these shows.
Do you want me to give you another break?
No, I'm having a great time. I'm thinking of getting my sweater and doing Mr. Rogers every night. I've got many sweaters in my closet.
Be like his mom and make you a sweater.
Well, I have many sweaters, and they would be very special. Because now that Tom Hanks is doing it, why won't you be my neighbor? Because I don't like Tom Hanks. So, guest 204 just crapped the room and said, Opus Dei, the Zionist Vatican Order. What do you want to talk about, man? I mean, start a question. We know Opus Dei is the Zionist Vatican Order. We realize that. What's your take on the whole thing? Surely you realize the digital world is very hard to deal with. And you're a little unorthodox at this time. I have this theory that humanity is slowly being dumbed down. And the shows that we do, you know, as much as we love to have, you know, people cheering and chatting, are slowly becoming reduced to just drooling, you know. So someday in the next 20 years, I'll just be drooling here. Mr. Rogers' neighborhood in a sanctuary city sucks. So do his sweaters. They're trying to dumb us down. We have nothing to talk about. Pretty soon the news will just be like a set tone. Beep. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, they got rid of the video. A YouGov survey found 41% of Germans believe Trump is more dangerous than Kim Jong-un, Xi Jinping, or the Iranian leader and the Russian President Putin. So Trump is really exacting a lot of fear in our German friends. Das ist richtig. Ja, Trump is out of his mind. Well, I think that the American people are really close to kind of closing the deal with Trump. Trump will probably resign fairly soon. I'm fairly confident Pence will be a more stable influence in our country if he stays in power. I don't think Pence is the right guy for the job. I think I am, but that's just my bias. Pence has got a lot of dirt on him, and I don't like that. He won't report his emails from an AOL server, which made me wonder if Pence was not, you know, got some weird emails. And turns out he does. Yeah, Pence has an email from one said person by the name of Tory Smith. You know where this is going, right? Well, Tory Smith made a statement about Pence that's shocking. And if you haven't seen it, let me play a touch of it for you. When I first heard it live on Tory Smith's website, it was bizarre, and I couldn't believe anyone would make such a statement. Of course, a lot of stories have been pushed on the news besides Tory. Weird things have been stated by people. That Pegasus video, remember that? And the James Alefantis, the Pizzagate stories. Yeah, here he is.
Hello, my name is Tory Smith, and I've been a witness to children who were raped and murdered in what's called the Minot child trafficking operation. And there are 40 locations nationwide, and there's one here in Indiana, state where I live, and which brings me to today's report. I do reports of this child trafficking operation, number one, because I don't know of anyone else that does. And these children need as many voices as they could possibly get, because hundreds and hundreds of children are abducted. Anywhere from 25 to 400 children are gang raped and murdered a day in this system. On the 27th of May, Friday, 264 children were brought in from the Air Force, SOCOM, and NATO. 15 of those children were brought to Indianapolis, to the Indianapolis Mine Lab, which is what I would like to do today's report on. Indiana Governor, child rapist, and child murderer Mike Pence has murdered 54 children, and which I seem to be the only one in Indiana who cares.
So I ran a kind of a gut feeling about this guy, and at the time I thought he was just doing this for to get noticed, right? I don't think this is hate speech. No. I actually think it's a sad testimony to what happened to this man. Whether this allegation was true or not, we do know that his days on earth didn't last more than 2 more months.
My name is Tori, and I want to thank you for the support and prayers and awareness that you brought to what's going on in our country about child trafficking.
So he really looks like a guy who was poisoned, basically. You know, that's what he looks like. He went from a very strong-looking man, and in 2 months' time, literally turned into a man, a wisp of his former self. See that? It's almost unbelievable, uncanny how weak he looks in this picture. And this is only 2 months afterward. And I've talked to some experts, and they said that it's most likely a radioactive poisoning, like polonium, that could have caused this. Anyway, shocking story, and the allegations he made even more shocking. So that's why I'm saying it was a 2-month period or 2-year period. Oh, you played the videos you got a strike 2 years ago? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and drop out of the video right now on YouTube, and